Hello and welcome to episode 5 of our 6-part series on the vital connection between employee experience and customer or guest experience, and the positive financial impacts that any business can realise when they take the opportunity to invest in their most valuable asset. That's their people, their brand ambassadors as we're calling them. So once again, welcome to Marie Cross, our UK Queen of Customer Service. Hello to Adrianne Carter, body language expert extraordinaire, and to Julie Wren, global health and wellbeing coach, nutritional therapist and spa educator. So last week we looked at the importance of emotional intelligence and empathy in ensuring that a great customer experience, and discussed why AI cannot and will not ever replace the human touch. So my question for you this week is, what are some of the challenges that your clients face in developing brand ambassadorship in their service-based businesses, especially when you've got a multi-generational employee base whose wants and needs from their employer differ so widely?
Yeah, I think that that recent report by Aon, talking about the values or what they valued from their employer based on the generation. I just found that here, that the top 5 valued benefits by generation, that if we look at baby boomers, I know we've got a couple of us in the room today, but if we look at baby boomers, that actually certainly work-life balance programs and having kind of paid time off is far more important to us than career development. So already you have, I know that certainly with the majority of our clients, they have a multi-generational employee base. And so just the recruitment and selection process about the benefits package they offer, they've got to make sure is attractive to their entire employee base. Versus our Gen Zs, which I think, are you a Gen Z, Adrianne?
I'm Gen X.
You're Gen X, okay. So our Gen X, yes. I've taken years off you.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I'm going to keep it, to be honest. I'll stay.
In fact, interestingly, from baby boomers to Gen X to Gen Y to Gen Z, actually they are all quoting in the top 5 valued benefits offered by by the generation. They're all in the top 5 is the work-life balance programs, the making sure that they are have that right balance, but also have they are being engaged, and their experience as an employee is a good one. I think that this issue, or the challenge, I think that many organisations face, certainly in the sectors that we work in, is that first of all it's often seen as an entry-level position, as you were saying, Julie, with some of your clients as well, some of your sectors. It's seen as an entry-level position. For that reason, people are just given the very basic training that is needed to kind of get on and do the job, which is generally speaking product knowledge, systems and process. Yeah. And that so-called, which I know is a phrase you and I hate so much, Adrianne, that kind of soft skills piece is kind of left to chance, in as far as, well, you wouldn't be coming for a frontline customer service role unless you already had those skills.
And I don't think it's left to chance. I think it's left to, if there's a little bit of budget left.
Yes.
Then we'll do the soft skills, which is the phrase we both hate.
Yes.
The soft skills are actually vital skills.
100%.
If you can't communicate well, then how do you get on with your customers, your colleagues, your bosses? And the problem is, the big problem, most people think they're good communicators.
Yes.
When I've done scores of asking people, big rooms of people, put your hand up if you think you're a good communicator. 80% of that room will put their hand up.
Yes.
And I can prove within about 5 minutes that there's probably about 10% of the room who are good communicators. Because communication skills aren't taught.
Yes.
And the more we don't interact with people, so screens, I work more on my own now than I've ever done. Fortunately, my business is all about communication, how do we communicate and optimise that. But most people's business isn't that.
No.
So they're losing those communication skills. The kids that came out of university in COVID didn't go into the office, they worked on their own.
Yes.
So they didn't learn the behaviour in the office by osmosis, as I did. I went to the workplace, you went to the workplace, you learn how to behave.
Yes,
You know, you had people around you that could show you the way, you know, how do you talk, how do you speak. Now more than ever, communication skills need to be taught.
I totally agree, and I think that kind of feeds into the cultural aspect in as far as company cultures have been truly damaged as a direct result of the pandemic. It is incredibly hard to either maintain or rebuild a culture, even a service culture, let alone the internal company culture.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to create or recreate that culture when you've got people working in this hybrid fashion. And I know I'm on my own on this one, but I do have a view that if you do operate on a front line where you have, as in a classic call or contact centre environment, you absolutely cannot operate, I would go as far as say even a hybrid environment, but you definitely can't operate a remote environment. Because how do you create that culture, that service culture that says that, you know, this is how we live and breathe our brand values on the front line. How do you do that when you're all sat in your individual home offices, you know, to do that? So I think that actually creating the culture is because people form a culture. It's not the processes or the systems or the...
I did a project last year with a neuromarketer, and the brief from our client was to understand the version of online versus face-to-face for events and communication and meetings. Now, there definitely is a place for online.
Yes.
No question. When you're talking about logistics, when you're talking about operational stuff, that, you know, it's just information, do it online. If we're going to keep this hybrid. But if you are wanting to build relationships, creativity, collaboration, it has to be in person.
And we know that, don't we? From during COVID, we know that we continued as bravely as we could to be, you know, running our businesses, developing people's potential online. But it definitely didn't have the same effect or results even as when we're kind of, you know, up close and personal with them, for that reason that and actually even just reading how people are feeling about the experience they're going through when they're in the training environment. But it is so much more difficult when you're online, when you're not there in person, because we're all energy and we can't sense that energy when we're online.
I definitely think that the challenges that I see are the ones, like you said, the investment and the budget, first of all, in seeing the soft skills as vital skills. But you know, that comes back to what you said as well with the service packages that we get, like the benefits packages that we get.
Yes.
I mean, there's also a case to say, could we be tailoring them more?
Yes.
Because obviously you've got this diverse workforce who are all communicating as well differently. They all have different expectations. They're all reacting to situations differently.
Yes.
So I mean, when we've got this problem with high turnover, you know, you've probably got somebody there who's been there perhaps a long time, who's the only person who all they feel like they're doing is just shoveling the next person along because of this high staff turnover and burnout that's there. And at the same time, you know, managing guest expectations or client expectations that are higher than ever before. And how are we then investing in them, those people who are actually trying to keep it all together and they're doing the leadership role? Where's the leadership training in this as well? And are we giving them, you know, they're probably filling out hundreds of reports and being buried under a mountain of paperwork, but where are we investing in them, in their skills as well, to lead well, to be wellness leaders, to be the right leaders, to be able to lead in emotional intelligence, to be able to also develop those brand ambassadors, because you've got skills within there that they may not have. So they're going to need to outsource that. But if they've got no budget to do it, this is where I see they get into this sort of like maelstrom of, I want to do it, but I can't do it because I can't physically do it myself. I've got no time, no skills, no budget. And we're back to square one again, but I'm getting the demands from top senior management that I need to perform, higher expectations, but I'm not having, the resources are just not there.
And that's the old, you know, we often take the very best brand ambassadors, the very best frontliners, the very best customer service reps or sales reps, and what do? We turn them into managers. The worst thing that we can do. We don't give them the tools of the trade. We just assume, well, because they've been such fantastic role models as a brand ambassador, as a customer service representative, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll make them a manager. and very often that is one of the worst things that we can do for them and for the organisation, and for the business. I think another really big challenge, and maybe it has been, as a result of the pandemic, but I think that employee expectation, I think, is very different.
Yes, for sure.
And I do think, Julie, you were saying earlier around, perhaps organisations need to start looking at flexible benefit packages that suit the individual, as opposed to this is what we offer as an organisation.
Yeah.
I know that I have a couple of clients that have the flexible benefits package that you can basically go and tick off at the start of each year the benefits that you want to receive for that year.
Oh, that's
you can't change it once you've selected your. It's a menu, but once you've selected it, that's it. That's what you have for the year, and I think that is probably the way, because of this multi-generational employee base that is going to become more and more prevalent. I mean, the baby boomers will be gone before not too long, but then of course the next generation will be coming up into the workplace, and so I think that having a flexible benefits package that is aligned with each individual or each generation, because they are wanting very different things according to this report, I think that would probably be a really smart move, and would be quite a big attractor factor, I would have thought, for employees.
Attraction,
exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's say we've all agreed that basically let's move away from the one size fits all.
Yes,
absolutely.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, thank you once again, Marie, Adrianne and Julie. I guess we baby boomers and Generation Xers have a very different perspective on brand ambassadorship and what it takes and means to represent our brand on the front line. Although there is much we can all do to ensure that PME, that's that positive, memorable experience for our customers or guests and our colleagues. Because it isn't rocket science. Small things that we can say or do or be can make a huge difference to people's perception of our service. Now, in our final episode, we're going to take a look at some practical ways that you can create brand ambassadorship on our front line and the very big impact that those small changes can have on our customers or guests' experience. So in the meantime, feel free to like, share, subscribe or join our tribe. Marie's, Adrianne's and Julie's details are all found at the bottom of the screen here. We'll see you next week, same place, same time. Till then, take care and remember to be that purple cow in your field. Bye for now.